Greetings. Today I wanted to show off my Nova Sorceress in season. We've completed the starter setup, or what I would consider the starter setup. This character is now capable of completing either the Nightmare Magic Finding task, as you can see here, or we can switch over and drop all this Magic Find and get higher resistances, and we are able to do the Hell Countess, which is where I've been getting most of my currency, which is actually a fun task to do early in the season with this character, considering we are a lightning build, right? So these are the two things that you can do early on before transitioning into a more budget-minded, hell-focused setup. Now, a couple of things to note here. I am a family man. I don't have like an extravagant amount of time, but I've been putting as many hours as I can. So, you know, a reasonable amount of hours where I can still sleep, right, and get work done during the day and that sort of stuff. And I've been trading during lunches and stuff like that. But across the course of a week, you know, I didn't start ladder immediately. I started the day after just to avoid all the hiccups with the servers and stuff, and that was a great choice. So, really happy with how this character turned out. I got some really lucky finds along the way, like I found the Mosers myself, and then I got some decent trades, like getting the Mage Fist for less than a Limerune, right? So it felt really good. So what are some of the better finds that we acquired along the way of this starter progression? In Nightmare Cow farming, first off, I acquired a 191 6% Titan's Revenge, and that was the first good item I had found. I sold it as quick as I could for a Malrune, and this may seem a little bit low based on current prices, but I wanted to do, you know, go for quick sells, not have to wait around and like babysit the trades, which is a higher time investment, right? So, plus a Malrune is one of the runes in the Call to Arms, getting us one step closer to the extra mana regen and extra life buffer that keep you so well protected in the budget setup eventually, you know, once you get it. Of course, that Ohm rune will be really hard to get, but we were able to get an Ist rune. So in the Hell Countess farming, I dropped an Oculus, and it's a unique orb that you can actually use for this build if you want to. Extra plus skills, it has mana per kill, you know, gives magic find, you know, so it's a great magic finding item, highly desired by a lot of sorceresses. However, I think it's more suited towards like a Hydra sorceress than a Nova Sorceress, because the Nova Sorceress gets hit a lot and it procs that teleport on effect a lot more often. So I traded that for an Ist rune. I also found an Ist rune while I was farming the Countess, so this is a good example of the type of runes you can find from farming the Countess. Higher level runes, that is. You can actually get up to a low rune farming the Countess, which is pretty cool. Got the rune from the Hellforge, Bahamuts ring. I also found a really nice 4-socket +2 energy shield war staff, so I was able to put memory in this, and while I am not an energy shield sorceress, this would give you up to +8, so not a perfect +9, but still a really good complement pre-CTA if you're running an energy shield variation. I'm not though, so this is why I'm trying to sell this piece. I also found this 4 open socket Thresher elite base polearm from the Countess as well, so very happy with this find. It saved me some currency, right, finding this item. Assorted plus mana Grand Charms. We have 19 lifers, we have some 11% resist small charms, and then this little blue charm over here. It's, you know, it's nice and pretty, right? So very excited about this. This is an Annihilus that we got from the Dclone community event that happened this week. I was hanging around, a friend pointed me towards the Lucky Luciano's Discord. Thank you very much, by the way. And not only you can have someone come and help you, you might have to wait, but I was able to get Steve. I'll put his Twitch link in the description. He was able to kill Dclone for me after, you know, I had to wait around about an hour, but man, they are helping people get their Annihilus charms, and this is a great service to the community. If and when I ever get extra Stones of Jordan, I will definitely put them forward towards this community event if that comes to fruition, right? But this is a very nice 19 all resist Annihilus charm. The other stats are kind of mediocre, but the all resistance is what you need earlier on, and that's what I am very happy about. I was very surprised that I got this piece before either my Geed's Grand Charm or my Hellfire Torch, both of which I am looking out for at the current time, just as I transition into that more budget setup. These are going to be very nice items to have, right? Additionally, I'm looking out for those Lightning Skillers, again, just to increase my damage as I move into and surpass Hell difficulty and start farming out Hell. So that'll be the next stage of things. I hope you're excited for this starter log. I will be preparing a log of the budget-minded progression whenever I complete all of that, which may take a while. But I'll put out another video on that as well. So now that I've played through the starter progression, is there anything that I feel that I missed in my starter guide? I'm going to go over those things now. First off, yes, I feel like earlier on, right when you get your insight, I forgot to mention something, how important getting plus mana is, whether it be on charms or rings, or even, like, for example, if you were like really low level and you're using the tier helmet, you could swap into a sapphire helmet instead. In certain scenario, you might run either flawless sapphires or something like this to increase your mana pool earlier on, get you more mana regen. Now, another thing I forgot to mention is the Hell Countess. I showed this in overlay, but you're definitely going to want to use the smoke chest piece, get you those extra resistances just so you can do the Hell Countess. And then the other thing was I was using a Nego ring before, with a combined 10 FCR, 120 mana ring. This was contingent on being able to purchase it later in the season. Earlier in the ladder, you're going to want to get a separate FCR, like one FCR ring and one Bahamuts ring, just because the FCR Bahamuts combined ring is like extremely expensive early in the ladder. So just something to note. So these are some of the bigger items. So I hope you've enjoyed this overview and do enjoy the log of the progression commencing forward. So here we are, level 20. Decent Nova damage. Here are our stats. We are progressing rather smoothly. We have the tier 2 tier axe that we completed. I only found 2 tier runes before I went into Act 2. So after I got teleport, and pretty much almost finished Act 2, I went back to the Countess and farmed the Countess for quite a while. It took me a while to get another tier rune, but the benefit there was I was able to get a secondary stealth for my mercenary. I got a Malice rune word, for him as well. So not a bad thing either, not a bad deal either. I was also able to find quite a few Ra runes and Neph runes when I was doing the Countess there as well. So it wasn't that much of a waste. I also found this nice Infernal Cranium, great for low level characters, especially because I was not able to find a 3-socket shield from far. Like just refreshing the vendor page did not give me a 3-socket large shield. Did give me 2 3-socket kite shields, but that's too high strength, so here we are. I made my stealth, a lot of faster cast rate here, combined with our amulets and 2 rings that I was lucky enough to get FCR and resists on, which is quite nice. And my folding gloves, the belt, and the boots are like nothing special. Probably should shop better for those, but this is where we are. Charms, maximum stamina charms. I found a few of these and a plus to life charms, and this one's really nice, poison resist. So yeah, going fairly steady here. I did save up the point on teleport from our Radament quest. So I did Radament, and then when I hit level 18, I spent the extra point there. So that's where we are. And Nova, as you can see, is quite high damage from the extra synergy, which is really nice. Malice, Berserker's Helm that I found, and Stealth. Where I'll go next, probably do a few more tomb runs before heading through Acts 3 and Act 4, just to get a few more levels in preparation for that. And notable deaths for this level of the progression, Act 2, the Maggot Lair. I kind of forgot my rule of not going in the Maggot Lair without teleport, and I kind of got stuck next to an Enchanted Aura Elite, and that was no bueno. I killed him, and he exploded. So, gearing update, level 27. In Act 3, I was lucky enough to find a Sanders Riprap Heavy Boots. Faster run walk on these is amazing. Had some downtime between streams, so I was able to farm up some more tier runes with the Countess. Just getting low level runes, that sort of thing. Probably not the best usage of my time, but I did not want to cut off stream and then suddenly be in Nightmare, you know. In combination with that, we are running a plus to energy, plus to mana amulet, you know, or ring would also work out well here. But earlier, you know, if you were progressing anyways and you didn't want to farm up those tier runes, you could run just a Sapphire Mask in combination with either a Magic Find Amulet or a plus to all resistance amulet. Those are good choices as well. Being in Act 5, we just got our Ancient's Pledge, so that covers most of our resistances, and we got a better belt vendored from, I can't remember which act I got this from, 3 or 4, something like that. And yeah. Nice resistances and gold find. Continuing to place points at Nova, I did save up 2 skill points because I think there is some overlap. When you hit level 30, you want to be able to put points both in Lightning Mastery and still put points in Nova. It's just like a little thing, so you save your Act 4 skills for that purpose.
View?
So as you've just seen, we've made it all the way to level 40 now by doing some Countess runs in Nightmare after doing normal cow runs to both get our Crystal Sword, normal Crystal Sword, and try and get a nice Death's Hand or Death's Sash, that sort of thing. But we were able to get our Spirit put together, and we now have our Insight. Now I did have issues getting the Sol rune. This go around. I was not able to get it from the Countess. However, I got a couple of higher runes than Sol from the Countess within my first couple of runs, and I was able to trade for the Sol rune using a Shale rune, which is still a good rune to have, right? So this is the advantage of playing online. So if you weren't, you know, maybe it would have taken me only a few more runs, but notably, the level 13 meditation aura rolled low, however the enhanced damage and bonus attack rating is good, so at least our mercenary will be dealing a lot of damage for this level, which is pretty cool. I did upgrade the stealth armor, but everything else, aside from the ring that Akara gave us was actually pretty good. Lightning resist and a faster cast rate, helping us get our resistances a little bit closer. This is normal, but if you see... in Nightmare, we're a little bit less good on the resistances front. Good in the lightning resistance though, so that is notable. And yeah, so this is where we're at. The extra mana from the Spirit should help us tremendously in combination with the Insight. I'm actually thinking about swapping this amulet back out to something a little different, perhaps all resistance or MF, so yeah. So I just made my way into Act 5 Nightmare after killing Diablo. As you can see, our Nova damage is significantly increased. How I leveled, I went up to level 10 Lightning Mastery, and then I swapped back into leveling Static Field from 8 up to 15, just to get that increased radius. For certain packs, like you run into a dual elite pack, it can be nice to have that increased Static Field radius, and you're giving up a little bit of DPS, but not like significant DPS, considering you already put a few points into Lightning Mastery. And then after that, I maxed out Lightning Mastery, and now I'm just filling in Static Field to have all of these in cap. Now, as far as gear, this Grand Charm, plus 58 mana. I found this in Act 3 Nightmare, and after I found this, I was running the Tier helmet with the Insight now. I decided to swip out of like the low mana setup with Tier Helm and put back on like just a Sapphire Helm, which is like a tri-res amulet. So really covering resistances and nightmares, quite nice. And our FCR is still above 63. Faster hit recovery, we are missing one breakpoint, but it's still pretty high. Just finished Act 5 Nightmare at level 60 and about to do some cow runs. That's my plans to go into next. Big item that I found after killing Dak Farron was the Moser's Blessed Circle. Gave me a scare because I DC'd and I was really worried that it would have rolled back and I would not have the item. But luckily when I logged back in, the item was there. So majestic. Actually got to keep something. Also found a lot of runes. The rune I got from my Hellforge quest. The Lum rune and the Co rune, we found those. So just working on building our wealth chest piece. I might use some of these to trade for like a mage fist or a silk weave at this point. I did find a 3-socket helmet, so I've moved into that. Did drop a little bit of mana, but the extra magic find should help us out significantly now that we're going to be cow farming more consistently, right? So it's looking rather good, and we capped out all of our lightning skills, so I'm really excited. So quick update, level 67, about level 64, I traded for the silk weaves, figured the Co rune, giving up a Co rune at this point, even though it's a little expensive, definitely well worth having the +5 mana after each kill, considering we're doing mostly cow level at this point. Rounded out the gemmed Great Helm, just finished that up, and I found a nice rare belt that gives mana and life. Similarly, found some mana and life charms, mana charms, to help support a higher level of regeneration. Also found a +3 fire skills amulet. Unfortunately, I'm doing lightning, so maybe I'll trade it away, we'll see. Or maybe I'll keep it for Hydra later on, whenever I build that character out. We have the Undid Crown here that I found for the Mercenary. Going to give a Life Leech as well. All in all, shaping on up. I'm looking to trade for the Mage Fist, but I probably need a Lim rune to get that next piece. Pretty big update here. I found a Bahamuts ring, so what I did is I dropped the resistance ring, which does drop our resistance a little bit, but they're still near cap, and I ran an FCR amulet now, so slight adjustment to my current setup.
I'll put that to good use.
So after Nightmare Cows, I was able to find that Titan's Revenge. I traded it for a Malrune. I think it's a very successful trade on my part. This gets it prepped for the Call to Arms, which I'll use it in later. The Rune I still have. Unfortunately, I was not able to break this down into a pull and a limb. Lem rune is what I would need to easily trade for a Mage Fist. So it took me an additional day to look out for deals. And I was able to get the Mage Fist by trading 5 Hell runes. So at this point, there are probably a lot more players who are doing crafting and that sort of thing. So you can start looking out for... I also saw Trangul's gloves, for example, with the 20% FCR going for like 6 or 7 perfect amethysts. So these sort of things where you have crafting mats that you're not going to use or you don't necessarily need to use right now, you can give those up temporarily and acquire the items that you immediately need. That's the idea anyway. So that's what I did here. reacquired a co-rune, then I found a Fal rune from the Countess on one of my first test runs in Hell, so this is great. Reacquiring currency for trading to other items. Talking about the Lum rune, I used it in a smoke armor, which is great. Gives us a lot of resistances, which you're going to need in Hell. I'm finally capped on resistances in Hell via the Mosers, the smoke, and a plus to resistances with supplementing this with charms, of course. Now, a chromatic amulet with like plus 20 all res, or maybe 25, would obviously be better than this tri-res amulet, especially because this doesn't have fire res. However, I was very lucky in that I found a lot of really good fire res charms, so it wasn't such a hit to me. I can still use this and get by cheaper in that sense. I did go for the lore helm. You're farming Countess, so Countess isn't necessarily, you don't need the magic find that we were using here before, so that is notable. I did have to drop my Bahamuts ring, unfortunately, so I had to give up a little bit of mana recovery to slot the FCR breakpoint that I require. So I still need to use 2 FCR rings because my spirit only rolled with 30%, not 33 plus. I found the Gloom's Trap as well. Unfortunately, it was ethereal, so this is obviously a great item for the Nova build. It will break eventually. I also found a nice, from a car, I actually got a pretty decent ring as well there. And some pretty good charms that I found, 11%ers, some 19%ers. Hopefully soon I'll be able to transition into something that not only has a lot of all resistance, but magic find as well. And then I can do different activities that aren't farming the Countess, because pretty sure this is going to get rather dull rather quick, right? So unfortunately, I did not record the run, but I just killed the Countess, and she coughed up a key and a 4-socket Thresher. I was just looking up prices on one of these, and it's definitely at least a Lem rune, probably more like an or a pole or something like that, right? To upgrade my mercenary weapon, so I'm extremely excited, right? Insight. 16, that's pretty good. 230, 244. I'm very happy with this roll here. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. It's a mixed bag, but really good roll on the all resistance. Experience gained is low, but that's a decent Annihilus. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you, my heart's pounding, very happy right now. Let's save and exit to save this item. And we're going to thank everyone in the Discord here. So I just traded one of the Fal runes that I found for a 3-socket Dust Shroud. Eventually I'll probably make a wealth chess piece in this. Ooh, another key. 2 keys. Whoa. Look at that. Alright, so I've collected enough currency at this point, I think, to transition back into Nightmare magic finding to see if I can get some more decent level items that I can trade for decent high level, the lower end of high level runes, right? So Countess farming netted me a lot of nice finds, I would say. So let's go ahead and make our wealth chess piece so we can get some more magic find. Lem, coat, two. There's our wealth. And we're going to swap out a lot of the items here to get like a slightly different build. So we're going to swap out the chess piece. This will, as you note, drop our resistances considerably, but we don't want to be over cap. So this is the intent, right? We're going to place our FCR amulet. We're going to take off one of the FCR rings because we now have room for a Bahamuts ring. We're going to put a different FCR ring on that side. We're going to take off the lore. We're going to place the MF helm because, again, I'm going for magic find in the Nightmare setup. And then we're going to place a few resistance charms just to keep maxed out on resistances in Nightmare. And this, I think, will be quite a nice setup for magic finding in Nightmare. Now, notably, I still have the Ethereal Gloom's Trap that will break eventually. And I'm starting to collect at this point, like sets, so that I can reroll either a Spirit Sword or a Spirit Shield. Now, I happen to have a decent 31%, 112 mana roll at the moment. This isn't, I need 33 or above to be able to, maintain FCR, and drop a ring. But at this point, I'm no longer concerned about that. I'm more concerned about saving up these reroll sets for when I get a Monarch, because that will be the more important piece. Having this decently high, however, is important because the combined between your sword and your shield in the budget build, you need at least, you can drop 10% total, but that still doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room. So we, want to keep it high, right? So that's where we're at. And I did find the additional Snake's Charm, so our mana is like super high when you combine it with the Gloom's Trap as well. So very excited. The Nihilus is beautiful. So yeah, just plugging along, and hopefully we'll find some good MF items with this build. We have 178% magic find, and notably our mercenary, we did not skimp on him either. We have the insight, the rattle cage, the towels, it's looking pretty nice for him as well. I kept the prayer merc just for this purpose. I wanted to go back in Nightmare and do a lot of magic finding and just have some fun with that, right? So that's what we're going to do next, and hopefully we'll get some currency to buy, maybe a torch, maybe some skillers, maybe a monarch, get that going. So transitioning more into a budget-minded setup. Notably, we have leveled 5 more times, so I'll probably start thinking about where I want to allocate these skills, because I will need to use them a little bit more after I'm done magic finding in Nightmare, right? So I got to think about that a little bit more. I did purchase, with like a Lum Rune, Night Smoke just for when that breaks, and yeah.